Hello everyone, this is Al, Red Sox fan, coming to you from Al, Red Sox fan YouTube channel. Hope all is well. We're going to bring you some Pro Strategy Football 2023, continuing with my What If 1988 Doug Flutie New England Patriots replay. This is not a Patriots game. Patriots Bills AFC Championship game has been played already. If you don't know what happened, I won't spoil it. It's on the channel if you'd like to watch. The winner of this game, the NFC Championship game, Rams Vikings, PC versus PC, I will only be calling it, will go on to face the winner of the Bills and Patriots in the Super Bowl. So a clash of ancient rivals. Weather will not be a factor, unfortunately, because the Vikings play in the Baggy Dome in 1988. Pro Strategy Football 2023 can be purchased on Steam for $19.99 or a few dollars less when it goes on sale again, I think, for the Christmas sale. Either way, it's a tremendous buy. The game comes with a generic NFL season and players, as well as a generic NCAA season and players. You can download NFL mod seasons created by the wonderful community from 1940 to present, which does include the 2022 projected ratings for players and teams. Or if you like to tinker, you can create your own teams. Heck, you can even make your high school team. The sky's the limit with this very fun game. So let's get to the Baggy Dome, Hubert H. Humphrey Stadium, the Metrodome. Head coach for the Rams, John Robinson. Eric Dickerson is no longer with the Rams in 88. His last year with the Rams was 87. Then he was shipped off in 87 to the Colts. Head coach for the Minnesota Vikings, Jerry Burns, trying to take the Vikings back to the promised land. Both teams, including the playoffs, are 14-3. Vikings had the better record in the regular season, thus winning their division and hosting this NFC Championship game. Let's scout the teams. Let's start with the visiting Rams. John Robinson, former USC coach, balanced offense. When he runs, he likes to run with the fullback, and they'll throw the ball with Everett. They prefer a 3-4 balance between man and zone. Sometimes they will blitz. For the Minnesota Vikings, head coach Jerry Burns, balanced attack. They'll rotate their running backs. And again, they'll throw to the tight end and wide receivers. They like a 2 wide receiver set. Vikings favor a 4-3. They'll bounce between man and zone, and they are a typical blitzing team. Your offense. Starting quarterback for the Rams, Jim Everett. Everett has thrown for 3,644 yards, 28 touchdowns, 13 picks, 62% completion rate. Your running backs, Bell, Del Pino, Charles White, former Heisman Trophy winner, USC, and Buford McGee. George Bell rushed for 1,329 yards, 9 touchdowns, 4.1 yards a carry, long run 47. Your tight ends, Pete Holohan, Damon Johnson, John Embry. Your wideouts, you'll see a lot of Henry Ellard. Ellard, 86 receptions, 1,062 yards, 8 touchdowns. He averaged 12.3 yards a reception. Offensive line. Pankey, Newberry, Smith, Love, and Jackie Slater. That's a tremendous offensive line there, especially with Pankey, Newberry, and Slater. Backup offensive lineman, Tony Slayton. For the Minnesota Vikings, Wade Wilson is the starting quarterback. Wilson threw for 3,886 yards, 34 touchdowns, 15 picks, 63% completion rate. This could be a shootout at the Metrodome. Running backs, not so bueno, average to below average for the Vikings. Darren Nelson, Alfred Anderson, Allen Rice, Rick Fenny. Darren Nelson rushed for 723 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3.2 yards a carry. Tight end Steve Jordan, he's pretty good. Mike Mularkey, Paul Kaufman, the former Packer. The man you have to watch out for in their wide receivers, you have Hassan Jones, Leo Lewis. Here's the man, Anthony Carter. Carter, 89 receptions, 1,056 yards, 11 touchdowns. You also have Jim Gustafson, Carl Hilton. Offensive line, Zimmerman and McDaniel, very good. Then they struggle from there. Loudermilk, Tausch, Irwin, backup lineman, Foot. For the Rams, defense, your defensive linemen, Reed, Wright, Messner, Miller, Jeter. Linebackers, Kevin Green, very good. Let's see what Green did. Green, 63 tackles, 6 sacks on the year. Welcher, Erkin, Mark Giroux is out, so Mel Owens will be playing. Defensive backs, Gray, Johnson, Stewart, Irving. Jerry Gray, very good. Newsom, Newman, and Washington. For the Minnesota Vikings, defensive line, Martin, Thomas, Keith Millard, Chris Dolman, and Bubba Baker. That is a fierce defensive line. Your linebackers, Solomon, Howard, Studwell, Martin, Walker, Lee, Ashley. Defensive backs, Holt, Harris, Browner, Lee, Edwards, Rutland, Henderson. Let's go to the kicking game. Mike Lansford is the kicker. Overall, only extra points 94%. Field goals, well, the closer he is, the better he is. Rich Camarillo, former Patriot, is the punter. Brown and Green, your kick returners. Hicks and Ellard, your punt returners. For Minnesota, Chuck Nelson's a field goal kicker, 98% point after. Much better, 29 yards and in, really good shot at making it. Even 39 yards and in, 80% still. Bucky Scribner is the punter. Harris and Nelson, your kick returners. Punt returners, Lewis and Anthony Carter. With that being said, let's get to the football game. As they say in Pro Strategy Football, let's do this. But before that, analyze, run the sim 1,000 times to get the point spread and over-under. Minnesota, 4-point favorites at home in this NFC Championship game, over-under 35. Let's do this, and we will watch live. Lansford to kick off. The Vikings set up to receive. 1988 NFC Championship game on its way from the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome in Minnesota. Taking a knee. Touchback. In the end zone is Harris for the Vikings. Vikings will have it 1st and 10 at their 20. They go 2 tight end set with Jordan and Mularkey. I formation. Rice the up back. Nelson behind him. Carter the lone wide out. Wilson under center facing a zone 4 down lineman coverage. Wilson underneath. Anthony Carter was a short hook. Gain of 6. Leroy Irving on the tackle. 2nd and 4 for the Vikings. Gustafson comes in as Alfred Jenkins goes off. Gustafson in the slot. Nelson the lone setback. 3 down linemen for the Rams. Wilson under center for the Vikings. Wilson to throw. It's a screen to Nelson. Nelson gets to the outside. He's got the 1st down. Gain of 4. Early success for the Vikings against this Rams defense. 1st and 10 for Minnesota. Full house backfield. Wilson under center. Tight formation for the Vikings. 3 down linemen for the Rams. Ball at the Minnesota 30. Pitch to Anderson. Anderson to the left, struggles for 2.
2nd down coming up.
Welcher on the tackle for the Rams. 2nd and 8 for Minnesota from their 32. Rice and Nelson are your backs. Jones and Carter, your wideouts. Steve Jordan, a very dangerous tight end. Wilson barks out the signals. 3-4 alignment, zone coverage for the Rams. Wilson to throw under duress, and he is brought down.
3rd down.
Kevin Green gets the sack. That's a loss of 7. 3rd and 15 for the Vikings. Vikings go 4 wide. Hassan Jones to the top. Gustafson, Carter, and Leo Lewis to the bottom. Darren Nelson, a decent catching back in the backfield. This looks like a 3-deep zone, possibly, for the Rams. Wilson will take the snap. Motion for the Vikings, top of the screen. Wilson to throw. Middle. It is incomplete.
4th down.
Pass intended for Leo Lewis. Excellent coverage by the Rams. Jerry Gray was in the vicinity. 4th and 15. The Vikings will punt. Scribner to punt from about his 10. Vikings hoping for a big return here. Rams hoping for a big return. Henry Ellard with the fair catch. That was a high punt of 43 yards by Bucky Scribner. Rams start 1st and 10 at their 32. As I take a sip of coffee. Everett under center. Ellard to the top of the screen. Cox to the bottom. Holohan's the tight end. White and Bell, your running backs. It's a split backfield. Vikings, 4 down linemen, man coverage. That's what it looks like. Everett back to pass. Throws to Holohan.
We have 2nd down.
Incomplete. A lot of pressure in the face of Jim Everett. 2nd and 10 for the Rams. Everett now has a 2 tight end set. Ellard the lone wideout. Split backs, White and Bell. 3 down linemen for the Vikings, man coverage. Everett under duress, and this time he does not get away.
Flag on the play.
Doug Martin with the sack. There is a yellow hanky littering the green turf here at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, the Baggy Dome. Let's see the penalty.
Offsetting penalties.
So that's a mulligan. We do it again. Offsetting penalties. Sack is denied. 2nd and 10 once again. Everett under center. Anderson, Ellard, your backs. 2 tight ends for the Rams, Johnson and Holohan. Bell, the lone setback. Motion, top of the screen for the Rams. Everett takes himself to the left.
3rd down.
Back to the line of scrimmage. It could have been a busted play. Keith Millard brought him down quite rudely. 3rd and 10. Rams go 4 wide. Brown and Ellard to the top. Anderson and Cox to the bottom. Bell, the lone setback. Zone coverage for the Vikings. 3 down linemen. Motion, top of the screen for the Rams. Jim Everett looking. Throws the out. Complete to Ellard. Knocked out of
4th
bounds.
down. Out of bounds.
1 yard shy of the sticks. Excellent tackle by the Rams. 4th and 1. Camarillo to punt for the Rams. That was an excellent tackle by the Vikings, denying the Rams a 1st down. Good punt by Camarillo. Fielded by Leo Lewis, takes it out to the 19. 4-yard return on the 44-yard punt by the former New England Patriot. 2nd possession for the Vikings in this NFC Championship game. 1st quarter, no score, 10:41 remaining. Jones and Gustafson to the top. Jordan and Carter to the bottom. Jordan being the tight end. Nelson the lone setback. Wilson under center. 1st down. Wilson. Delayed handoff. Darren Nelson up the middle.
We have 2nd down.
A quick little move. Acceleration for the diminutive. Darren Nelson picks up 5. Johnny Johnson on the tackle for the Rams. 2nd and 5 for Minnesota at their 24. 2 tight ends. Malarkey and Jordan. Gustafson to the bottom of the screen. Carter to the top. Lone setback, Darren Nelson. 2nd and 5. Nelson to the right.
3rd down.
Picks up 3. 3rd and 2. What will the Vikings do here to try to convert? Ball at the Minnesota 27. Rice and Nelson, your backs. Everyone up in the box for the Rams on 3rd and 2. False start.
False start. Offense.
So the Vikings will now have a 3rd and 7 from their 22. Vikings go 4 wide. Gustafson and Jones to the top. Carter and Lewis to the bottom. Nelson, the lone setback. Zone coverage. 3 down linemen for the Rams. Wilson to throw. Pressure. Throws the out. Complete to Hassan Jones. Crosses midfield.
First down.
That is a gain of 30 on 3rd and 7. Wade Wilson hits a streaking Hassan Jones. The ball will be at the Rams 48. A new set of downs for the Vikings. Vikings go tight run formation. Rice the up back, Nelson behind him. 1st and 10 from the Los Angeles 48. Handoff to Rice. Rice with a big run. Knocked out near the 30.
First down. Out of bounds. There's a flag on the play.
I believe this penalty will be on the Vikings. It looked like they had some illegal motion there.
Illegal procedure. Offense.
Nullifies a terrific run. Back up the bus, Gus. Don't need to discuss much. Just drop off the key, Lee, and set yourself free. 1st and 15 for the Vikings at the Minnesota 47. Joining us at the Baggy Dome, the original Grognard. He says, and up early today. Did you even sleep last night? No. Coffee. Coffee's good. Actually, here it's 2:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I had some sleep. 1st and 15. Wilson brings the Vikings offense to the line of scrimmage. What do the Vikings have up their sleeve? Wilson, handoff. Rice.
We have 2nd down.
Pounds for 8. Stewart on the stop. That will leave Minnesota with a 2nd and 7. At the Los Angeles 45, under 8 to play in this first quarter of the NFC Championship game. Winner to go to the Super Bowl to face the Bills or the Patriots. That game was played as I coached that one earlier in the week. It's on the channel. I won't spoil it. It was a pretty good one. Holohan, Malarkey, 2 tight end set. Nelson and Rice, your backs. Carter, the lone wide out top of the screen. 2nd and 7. Wade Wilson assesses situation. But look, that's all, folks. Rice to the left. He's got the he fumbled.
3rd down.
Who got it back? The Vikings get it back. Holy cow, let's watch that over as I was doing my best Porky Pig. Let's go replay, pause, slow motion. Motion, bottom of the screen. They're going to run opposite motion, sweep with Rice. Rice struggling for that extra yard. The pigskin pops loose.
3rd
The
down.
Vikings very fortunate to recover. It's a 3rd and 1. Coach Burns breathes a sigh of relief. 3rd and 1. Vikings look to stretch out this Rams defense. Rams all up in the box, still expecting run. Hassan Jones to the top. Gustafson, Carter, Lewis to the bottom. Darren Nelson, the lone setback. Will they give it to the diminutive back, Nelson? Wilson, play action under duress. Scrambling, and he's brought down.
4th down.
Wilson left the pocket, but there was no sanctuary to be found. Kevin Green with his 2nd sack of the game, loss of 9. Here's the replay in slow motion. 3rd and 1. Play action. Did not work out.
4th down.
The blonde locks of Kevin Green track Wade Wilson down. Scribner to punt for the Vikings. Rams come after it. They don't get there, though. Ball goes out of bounds. Approximately a 40-yard punt for Bucky Scribner. Rams take over. Shadow of their own end zone. Good punt by Scribner. 1st and 10 for Los Angeles at their 7. White and Bell, your split backs. Eller to the top, Cox to the bottom. Holohan, the tight end. Jim Everett under center. Everett gives it to Bell. Bell to the left. Bounces off one would-be tackler. Picks up 4. 2nd and 6. 2nd and 6. Everett under center, facing zone coverage by the Vikings. Motion, bottom of the screen for the Rams. Everett to throw. Hits Holohan.
3rd down.
Gain of 5. Scott Studwell brings down the Rams tight end. It was a quick hitter to Holohan. Big 3rd and 1 here. Rams go tight run formation. 2 tight ends. White and Bell, your running backs. Ellard, the lone setback. Vikings have everyone up in the box on this 3rd and 1 from the Rams 16. Bell, he's got it.
First down.
That was an off tackle left, but Bell shimmy sham to the center of the field. Picks up 3. Keith Millard on the tackle. Rams convert. Ball at the Los Angeles 19, under 5 to play in this first quarter of the NFC Championship game. White the up back, Bell behind him. 2 tight end set. Will Coach Robinson go to ground and pound? Motion, Rams. Pitch, Charles White, Heisman Trophy winner. Picks up 3. Howard on the stop. 2nd and 7. 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts. Bell, the lone setback for the Rams. On 2nd and 7. Everett takes the snap. Screen to Bell. Bell picks up a block. First down and more. 40. Tripped up.
First down.
Gain of 20 on the screen. Everett to Bell. Scott Studwell, the pursuing linebacker, with the tackle. About 3 minutes of play here in the first quarter of this NFC Championship game. I formation. White the up back for the Rams. Bell behind him. Holohan, the tight end, to the outside of Holohan. Bottom of the screen, Henry Ellard. Cox to the top. Man coverage, 4 down linemen for the Vikings. Everett to throw.
Incomplete. We have 2nd down coming up.
Pass intended for Aaron Cox, well covered by Isaac Holt. 2nd and 10, 3:03 left in the first quarter. I formation once again for the Rams. Zone coverage for the Vikings. Quick hitter to Henry Ellard.
3rd down.
Ellard is swarmed, struggles for 2. That will leave a 3rd and 8 for the Rams at their 44. About 2:23 to play in this first quarter of the NFC Championship game. 2 tight ends set, 2 backs. It's a split backfield for the Rams. White and Bell. Henry Ellard to the top of the screen on 3rd and 8. Zone coverage for the Vikings. Everett rolls under duress, throws back. Incomplete.
4th down.
Pass intended for Damon Johnson. That's a dangerous pass. Joey Browner claps his hands. He was looking for the pick. 4th and 8. Rich Camarillo to punt for the Rams. 2:18 left in the first quarter. NFC Championship game. Winner goes to the Super Bowl. Out of bounds. 35-yard punt by Camarillo. Vikings take over with 2:12 to play in the first quarter. 1st and 10 at their 21. Wilson under center. Nelson and Rice, your split backs. 2 tight ends, Jordan and Malarkey. Carter to the bottom of the screen. That's Anthony Carter. Wilson to throw.
We have 2nd down coming up.
Quick hitter to Jordan for 2 yards. Stewart on the tackle for the Rams. 2nd and 8 for Minnesota at their 23. I formation. Rice the up back. Nelson behind him. Zone coverage for the Rams. Wilson to throw again. Pressure from the backside. Intercepted by Stewart. Stewart racing to the end zone. Gets by Wilson. It's a pick 6, baby.
That's a touchdown.
Michael Stewart picks off Wade Wilson and brings it to the house. The Rams are on the scoreboard. 6-0 Los Angeles. Here's the replay in slow motion. Rams got good pressure on Wilson from the backside. He felt it. Fired into coverage. Stewart jumps the route. The horse has left the barn, and there's no bringing him back. It's a Nestea plunge and a touchdown.
That's a touchdown.
34-yard interception return by Stewart. The extra point by Mark Langsford. Herman to hold. It's good. Or is it Mike Langsford? Mike Langsford. 7-0 Rams. Langsford, the barefooted kicker, kicks off. It's a good kickoff. Harris takes a knee in the end zone for the Vikings. Joining us here at the Baggy Dome, Max Cornelius. How you doing? Hope all is well. Long time no see. Again, we hope all is well to our good friend Max Cornelius. Vikings trail 7-0 with 1:24 to play in the first quarter of this NFC Championship game. Malarkey and Jordan are 2 tight ends. Anthony Carter Bottom of the screen, I formation, Rice and Nelson. First down for Minnesota. Wilson to throw. Wilson, middle, deep. Complete to Anthony Carter.
First down.
22 yards. Johnny Johnson quickly brings down AC. Vikings looking to come right back. Under a minute to play in the first quarter. Ball at the Minnesota 42. 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts. The lone setback, Nelson. On first down. Wilson to Nelson. Nelson bounces left
We have second down
after
coming up.
the trap picks up 4. 2nd and 6. This could be the final play of the first quarter. Pitch to Nelson. Nelson to the right. Fumbles. Who's got it? The Vikings have it. Holy cow. Disaster averted as the first quarter comes to an end. 7-0 Rams. If you're just joining us, it was a pick 6 by Stewart late in the first quarter that has given the Rams the 7-0 lead. We switch sides. Start of the second quarter, 3rd and 3. Vikings go 4 wide. Max Cornelius says he's doing well. He asks how I am doing. I'm doing fabulous, my friend. Thank you for asking. Lewis and Carter to the top. Gustafson and Hassan Jones to the bottom. Darren Nelson alone setback on 3rd and 3. Rams looking for the run. Everyone up in the box. It's a give to Nelson. Nelson up the middle. He's got it.
First down.
Nelson a smallish back, but a tough back. Gain of 3. Another set of downs as the chains move for the Minnesota Vikings. They trail 7-0. Ball at the Los Angeles 48. Vikings go 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts. Gustafson and Carter, your wideouts. Holohan, Jordan and Malarkey, your tight ends. Nelson, the lone setback. Rams playing run. Everyone up in the box. Nelson to the right. Stopped.
We have second
Loss
down.
of 2. The blonde locks of Kevin Green once again get through. It will be 2nd and 12 for Minnesota at midfield. 2 tight ends. Carter, the lone wide out to the top of the screen. Rice and Nelson, your split backfield. Wilson barks out the signals. Wilson drops back, rolls a bit, throws middle, incomplete.
3rd down.
Pass intended for Mike Malarkey. Leroy Irving on the coverage. 3rd and 12 now for Minnesota at midfield. Zone coverage. It looks like a possible zone coverage for the Rams. 4 wideouts, 3 to the top of the screen for the Vikings. Gustafson, Carter, and Leo Lewis. To the bottom, Hassan Jones. Darren Nelson in the backfield. 3rd and 12. Wilson to throw. Wilson pressured. Throws deep. Sidelines. Hassan Jones with a catch.
First down.
Hassan Jones went up high along with Michael Stewart, and this time Stewart could not come away with the pigskin. It was Hassan Jones of the Vikings for 21 yards. A big conversion on 3rd and 12. Let's watch that replay in slow motion. Wilson does get some pressure. Stood tall in that pocket. Deep sideline pass. You can see Stewart and Hassan Jones go up for it. But Hassan Jones wins the battle. Vikings, 1st and 10 at the Los Angeles 29. Tight formation for Minnesota. I formation. Rice, the up back, Nelson behind him on 1st and 10. Motion, top of the screen for Minnesota. Pitch, opposite motion. Nelson to the left. He breaks to the sideline. Big run by Darren Nelson. 13 yards. Johnny Johnson trips him up before he goes to pay turf. Vikings looking to tie this game down 7-0 with 12:13 left in this first half of the NFC Championship game. Full house backfield. Rice, Anderson, and Nelson. It's a run formation. Will they throw to Malarkey or Jordan out of this, though? Rams playing for the run. Wilson, play action, under duress, throws. Anderson out of the backfield, picks up
We
9.
have second down coming up.
They'll move it
There's
back a
flag
bit.
on the play.
8 yards. But there is a flag on the play. Let's check out the yellow hanky.
Holding. Offense.
Holding on the Vikings nullifies the 8 yards out of the backfield on the pass. Minnesota, 1st and 20 from the Los Angeles 26. Two tight ends once again for the Vikings. Carter the lone wide out to the top. Rice and Nelson the split backs on 1st and 20. Wilson throws underneath.
We have second down coming up. There's a flag on the play.
Pass complete to Mike Mularkey, quickly brought down by a swarming Rams defense. Another flag litters the turf here at the Hubert H. Humphrey Baggy Dome.
Holding. Defense.
Oh, wow! The Vikings get bailed out on the holding call on the Rams. That's going to be a first down for the Vikings at the Los Angeles 21. Vikings stick with a 2 tight end set. 2 backs, 1 wide out. Wilson to throw. Pocket holds up. Throwing deep. Jordan, touchdown!
That's a touchdown.
Jordan beats his man-to-man coverage. Safety help. Doesn't get there in time. Wade Wilson to Steve Jordan for 21 yards. Wilson's now thrown 2 touchdowns. Unfortunately, the first one he threw was to Michael Stewart, a pick 6, and now he hits his own teammate, Steve Jordan, for the score. Here's the replay in slow motion. We're an extra point away from a tied NFC Championship game. You can see Jordan beat his defender. Safety help doesn't get there.
That's a touchdown.
And a Nestea plunge. Chuck Nelson for the extra point. Tommy Kramer holds. It's good.
It's good.
7-7. With 11:54 to play in this first half of the NFC Championship game. Nelson to kick off to the Rams. Rams hoping for a return here. From about the 5 comes Brown. Brown streaks down the sideline, zigzags, gets to the 30. A nice return by Ronnie Brown of 24 yards. Rams 1st and 10 at their 30. 2 tight ends, Holohan and Johnson. Flipper Anderson to the top of the screen. He's 1 wide out. Henry Ellard to the bottom. Gary Ding Dong Bell is the running back. Motion, top of the screen for the Rams. It's a give to Bell. Bell picks up some blocks, cuts back middle, first down.
First down.
Gain of 10. That was a nice quick run by Bell. 1st and 10 for Los Angeles at their 40. Anderson in the slot. Cox outside of him. Ellard to the bottom of the screen with the tight end Holohan. Bell the lone setback. Everett to throw. Cox on the slant.
We have second down.
Gain of 7, tackled by Chris Martin. 2nd and 3 for the Rams. Rams in a rhythm. The Rams are in a rhythm. Cox and Anderson to the top. Ellard and Brown to the bottom. 2nd and 3. What will it be? We shall see on 2nd and 3. Motion, bottom of the screen for the Rams. Pitch to Bell. Bell is knocked out of bounds.
3rd down.
Only a gain of 1. Excellent lateral pursuit by the Vikings. 3rd and 2. We are knotted at 7, under 10 to play in this NFC Championship game. Winner to face the Bills or the Patriots. That game was already played on the channel. I coach the Patriots. I'm not going to spoil it if you want to watch it. 3 wideouts. Anderson in the slot. Heller to the bottom, along with Holohan the tight end. Cox to the top. Bell the lone setback. 3rd and 2. Will Robinson run the ball with Bell? Everett.
Incomplete. 4th down.
Horrible pass by Everett. Threw behind his tight end, Pete Holohan. 3rd and 2 turns into 4th and 2. And Camarillo, the former Patriot, to punt. Flag! There's a flag on the field. If this is on the Vikings, the Rams will have a first down. Fair catch by Leo Lewis.
Flag on the play.
Now to the crucial yellow hanky, as Philip Reynolds and Dave Gardner have joined us at the Baggy Dome. Hope all is well with you two. We also have Max Cornelius and our good friend Devin, the OG, the original Grognard. What's the flag?
Offsides. Defense.
Oh, the Vikings jumped. The Rams have a 1st and 10 at the Minnesota 47. The offense back on the field. 9:38 to play in the first half. Everett directs the offense. Motion, top of the screen for the Rams. Everett to Charles White, stuffed in the
We have second
backfield.
down coming up.
Nothing for Sir Charles. A loss of 1. An angry Keith Millard nearly decleats the Heisman Trophy winner out of USC. Draft pick of the Browns, now playing for the Rams. 2nd and 11. 2 tight end set for the Rams. Split backfield of Bell and White. Heller Ellard to the top of the screen. Screen.
Incomplete. Third down.
Horrible execution there. Incomplete. Screening to Gary Bell. 3rd and 11. 8:49 left in the first half of this NFC Championship game. 2 tight ends. Holohan and Johnson. Anderson and Ellard. Your wideouts. Gary Ding Dong Bell. The lone setback. Everett to throw. Bell with a nice block in the backfield. Incomplete.
4th down.
Oh boy, Flipper Anderson had those alligator arms as Brad Edwards was coming to behead him. That will leave a 4th and 11. Once again, Camarillo to punt. Camarillo gets the punt off, trying to pin the Rams back. Leo Lewis, fair catch at the Viking 22. Only a 26-yard punt for Richie Camarillo. 8:36 left in the first half. We are knotted at 7. NFC Championship game. Carter to the top of the screen along with Steve Jordan. He's the tight end. Malarkey, another tight end, to the bottom along with Gustafson, the wideout. Nelson, the lone setback. Everyone up in the box for the Rams looking run. Motion, top of the screen for the Vikings. Pitch. Nelson in the backfield. Brought down. Greg Meisner was the Snow Meisner, or the Heat Meisner, we'll have to say, because he's from Los Angeles. That is a loss of 4. 2nd and 14 for the Vikings. Vikings go split backs. 1 tight end, 2 wideouts on 2nd and 14. Wilson to throw under duress. Underneath to Rice.
3rd down.
Horrible setup on that screen. Gain of 4, though. Johnny Johnson zips over there, makes the tackle. About 7 to play in this first half of football. Vikings have it at their 22, 3rd and 10. They're going to go 2 tight ends, Jordan and Malarkey. 2 good receiving tight ends, Jordan being the better. Anthony Carter, very dangerous to the top of the screen. Rice and Nelson, your split backs. Zone coverage for the Rams. Motion for the Vikings. Delayed handoff. Rice bounces to the outside. Will not get there.
4th down.
They went with the draw. Gain of 6. 4th and 4. Scribner to punt for Minnesota. 6:35 and counting in this first half of the knotted NFC Championship game at 7. From the Baggy Dome in Minnesota. Out of bounds goes the punt. 41-yard punt by Bucky Scribner. Rams take over. 1st and 10 at their 31. As I take a sip of water. A lot of 2 tight end sets for both teams. Johnson and Holohan, your 2 tight ends for the Rams. Everett under center. Bell, the lone setback. Henry Ellard to the top of the screen. Flipper Anderson to the bottom. Zone coverage for the Vikings. Bell, driven out of bounds.
We have 2nd down coming up.
Counter right to nowhere. Loss of 1. 5:57 left in the first half. 2nd and 11. Everett under center. White and Bell in the backfield. Ellard and Cox, your wideouts. Holohan, the tight end. Motion out of the backfield. Everett screens the Bell. Bell gets the... He fumbles! Who has it? Solomon picks it up for the Vikings. It was a mad scrum. That pigskin was bouncing left, right, up, down, sideways, spinning. And finally, it is picked up by the Vikings. Solomon. Vikings get a huge break. Let's watch that replay in slow motion. You saw the motion out of the backfield, then they screen opposite to Bell. Bell takes a huge pop. There goes the pigskin. Bouncing, spinning. Jesse Solomon picks it up. Advances it for a couple of yards, But Minnesota will have it on the Rams 29. A huge turnover. A big play by the new Purple People Eaters for the Minnesota Vikings. 5:49 left in this first half. Remember, the Vikings defense have not given up points. It was a pick 6. That was the touchdown for the Rams. Michael Stewart picked off Wade Wilson. Rice and Nelson, your backs. Carter and Hassan Jones, your wideouts for Minnesota. Jordan, the tight end. Zone coverage for the Rams. It's a sweep to Rice. Rice to the left. He's got the first. Does he get it?
Second down.
No, they'll mark him a little
Out of
short.
bounds.
Took a big hit going out of bounds. 2nd and 1. That was a 9-yard run by Allen Rice. 2nd and 1. Will the Vikings go play action fake here? They got a run formation. 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts. Carter to the bottom of the screen. Nelson the lone setback. 2nd and 1. It's a give to Nelson. Nelson plunges the middle.
First
Bounces
down.
left. 2 yards. Move the chains. 1st and 10 for Minnesota at the Los Angeles 18. Under 5 to play in this first half of the NFC Championship game. Gustafson in the slot. Jones to the outside. Jordan and Carter to the top of the screen. Jordan being the tight end. Nelson the lone setback. Man coverage for the Rams. 1st down. Pitch to Nelson. Nelson to the left. Breaks some tackles. He's close to another first.
Second down coming up.
9
Out of
yards. Tough running by the diminutive back, Darren Nelson of the Minnesota Vikings. 2nd and 1. About 4 to play in this first half of the NFC Championship game. Staggered backfield of Rice and Nelson. 2nd and 1. Wilson barks out the signals. Play action. Throws. Hassan Jones. First down.
First down.
Ball is spotted at the Rams 4. 1st and goal for Minnesota. Minnesota taking their time, 3:25 and counting. Minnesota looking to take the lead and a trip to the Super Bowl at stake here in this NFC Championship game. Rice, Anderson, and Nelson are your backs. 2 tight ends, Jordan and Malarkey. 1st and goal from the 4. Wilson takes it himself.
We have second down coming.
It is a loss of 1. Fooled no one. Doug Reed on the tackle of Wade Wilson. Clock running, tick, tick, tick. Rice and Nelson, your split backs, 2 tight ends, Malarkey and Jordan. Carter to the top of the screen. Wilson, play action. Jordan to the goal line. He doesn't get in. What a tackle by Carl Eckern. Let's watch that again. Jordan thought he got in, slow motion. Play action. Jordan on the quick tight end slant.
3rd down.
3rd and goal from the Rams 1. 2 tight ends. I formation, power football, but you have the dangerous Anthony Carter to the top. Very close to the line, though. Rams selling out for the run on 3rd and goal. And it's Rice, the up back touchdown.
Touchdown.
The Vikings take the lead 13-7. So the fumble hurts dearly. Here's the replay in slow motion. They gave it to the up back, Allen Rice. And
That's a
boy,
touchdown.
it proved to be nice. The Nelson extra point. Tommy Kramer to hold. The kick is up and good.
It's good.
14-7 to the joy and jocularity of the fans here in Minnesota. Vikings. 1:57 left in the first half. Rams trail by 7. Their offense has been putrid. Their only touchdown, a pick 6 by Michael Stewart. Nelson a kickoff. The Rams do have all 3 timeouts. Rams will not return this one as it bounces out of the end zone. Rams 1st and 10 at their 20. Cox to the top of the screen. Anderson, Ellard, and Brown to the bottom. Bell the lone setback. Everett under center. Everett throws complete to Cox.
We have
Short
second down.
cross, 5 yards. 2nd and 5. Rams in the hurry up. Everett under center. Everett looks, throws. Incomplete. Pass
3rd
intended
down.
for Brown. Jim Everett got the yips, threw behind him. Isaac Holt in coverage for the Vikings. 3rd and 5, 1:32 left in the first half. Brown and Ellard to the bottom. Anderson and Cox to the top. Bell the lone setback. This looks like zone coverage for the Vikings. Screen to Bell. He's got the first down.
First down.
Can't get out of bounds, though. Gain of 7. Vikings. The Rams in the hurry up. Everett to throw. Pressure. Incomplete.
We have second down coming up.
Medium out to Anderson. Vikings got pretty good pressure on Jim Everett there. 2nd and 10. 1:02 left in this first half. Los Angeles has it on their 32. They still have all 3 timeouts. They're going to go 2 tight ends, Johnson and Holohan. Anderson and Ellard are your wideouts. Bell, the lone setback. Zone coverage for the Vikings. They're up by 7. Motion, top of the screen for the Rams. Everett to throw. Pressure. Throws come. No! Off the fingertips of Pete Holohan, the tight end. He couldn't bring it down. 3rd and 10 for the Minnesota Vikings. 55 seconds left in the first half. Vikings trail by 7. Complete to Johnson.
First down.
He's got it. Johnson, with the extra effort, gets the first down. I would think the Rams... No, we have an injury. Quarterback Jim Everett took a huge hit. A huge hit by the Vikings. His bell was mega rung. Not even the Snickers bar will bring him back. He is concussed. That is word from the sidelines. Mark Herman craps himself as he has to grab his helmet. He is in the game. Mark Herman is in the game, and Vikings fans rejoice as Jim Everett has been concussed. Not even me singing, "Ring my bell, ring my bell," will bring back Jim Everett for this one. So the game is now in the hands of Mark Herman. Does that ring confidence? We shall see. Los Angeles, for some reason, has to use injury timeout, I guess. I don't know. Wow, so Mark Herman is in. Mark Herman is in. We'll check out if Mark Herman actually played during the season. So Herman under center. You can see the nerves on Herman. 4 wideouts. Incomplete.
We have 2nd down.
He pooped himself on that one. Pressure right in his face. You can hear the groans from Los Angeles with Herman at quarterback. All hopes are pretty much gone. 2nd and 10. Rams tight formation. Johnson and Holohan your tight ends. Anderson and Ellard tight to the line. Bell the lone setback. 2nd and 10. 2 timeouts left for the Rams. Ball at their 42. Mark Herman in for the injured Jim Everett. Motion for the Rams. It's a blitz. Herman. Ellard. Complete.
3rd down.
Gain of 7. 3rd and 3. Chris Martin on the tackle. Los Angeles uses their 2nd timeout. 36 seconds left. Ball at the Los Angeles 49. Cox to the top of the screen. Anderson, Ellard, and Brown to the bottom. Bell the lone setback. Motion. Top of the screen for the Rams. Herman under duress. Under pressure. Throws deep. Incomplete.
4th down.
Pass intended for Aaron Cox. He had a step on Carl Lee, but it was not meant to be. Incomplete. I'll say one thing for Herman. He was under duress. He moved around in that pocket to buy time. Cox did get a step, but Herman claps his hands. He had him. Just couldn't connect up with him. 4th and 3. Camarillo to punt. 29 seconds left in this first half. 14-7 Vikings. Vikings looking very good to go to this Super Bowl with a backup quarterback for the Rams. And let's go to the game highlights quickly. I want to show you how the Rams scored before we get to the half. It was a Wade Wilson pick under duress. Threw into coverage. Stewart picks him off, and that's a touchdown.
That's a touchdown.
Will the Vikings take a knee? Nope, they give it to Allen Rice up the middle.
We have 2nd
Rice
down.
picks up 5.
There's a flag on the play.
Green on the tackle. Flag on the play. Original Grognard. Al, is that your voice doing the game announcements in the background? Yes, it is. I am part of this game if you like to listen to me. If you don't, you can always shut it off. To those who chagrin to hear my voice, and there are people who do chagrin. You can shut it off. You can add your own stuff. But I am part of the beta team. I do enjoy this game. I was very happy that I'm part of the beta team. I'm in the game. Mike in the truck's in the game. Christopher Slovak's in the game. So it's very cool. It's very cool.
Personal foul, defense.
So the Rams with a late hit on the Vikings. Vikings, 1st and 10 at their 36. Are they going to throw the ball? Motion, 4 wideouts. Screen, Nelson near the 40.
2nd down coming.
Gain of 4. And that ends the first half. Let's check out the Rams here. Jim Everett, before he was knocked out of the game for good, 9 of 18, 50%, 69 yards. His long was 29 yards. Herman came in. He's going to have to try to mount a comeback here. 1 for 3 with 7 yards. Now let's check out Herman. Herman did play a bit. He was 16 of 41. 1 pick, no touchdowns, 142 yards, only 39% completion. Ouch. If I were the Rams, it's going to be a heavy dose of run, maybe some play action over the top. I don't know. I don't know what you can do with Mark Herman out of Purdue. Not much, it looks like. Not bueno. Let's look at the Vikings real quick. Wade Wilson, 11 for 14, 78%, almost 77%, 123 yards, a pick for a touchdown, and then he did throw a touchdown. Touchdown toss was to Steve Jordan. Let's go back to the game. We start the third quarter with the Vikings a half hour away from the Super Bowl. Nelson to kick off. Minnesota 14, Los Angeles 7. Rams. Let's see what the Rams do here on this opening drive of the second half. Nelson, that's a high kick. And that's going to go into the end zone. Bounce out. Touchback. Rams have it. 1st and 10 at their 20. Looks like they're going to go ground and pound. 2 tight ends, Johnson and Holohan. Anderson, tight to the line at the bottom of the screen. Ellard, tight to the line to the top of the screen. Gary Ding Dong Bell, the lone setback. 1st and 10. Herman will take the snap. Hands at the Bell. Bell bounces, spins, struggles, 4 yards. Keith Millard on the tackle. 2nd and 6. White and Bell are your backs now for the Rams. Zone coverage for the Vikings. Gary Bell, he's got the first down. It's going to be a heavy dose of the run game, you can tell. 6 yards. Bell is inspired. 1st and 10 for the Rams at their 30. Again, the split backfield for Los Angeles. It's a handoff to Bell to the left. Not much there. Vikings swarm Gary Ding Dong Bell as David Howard tries to ring his bell. Gain of 1. 2nd and 9. White goes out. Flipper Anderson, the wideout, comes on. Slot receiver. 2nd and 9. What will Herman do here? Herman, they're going to screen. No, he's going to throw deep! Deep! Incomplete!
3rd down.
Herman looking for Henry Ellard. Last second, Johnny Harris gets his fingertips on it. 3rd and 9. Can Mark Herman earn his paycheck here? Cox and Anderson to the top, Ellard and Brown to the bottom. Gary Ding Dong Bell, the lone back. 3rd and 9. Herman, the backup. Quarterback. Pitches to Gary Ding Dong Bell. Bell gets to the outside. 1st down. Crosses midfield. Tripped up.
1st down.
Coach Robinson goes for the pitch left on the 3rd and 9, and Gary Ding Dong Bell rings the bell and goes through the door for 22 yards. Move the chains to the shock and chagrin of Vikings fans here at the Baggy Dome in Minnesota. Let's watch that replay in actual speed. Excellent blocking by the Rams wideouts and the line, springing Gary Ding Dong Bell. Los Angeles, 1st and 10 at the Minnesota 47. These Rams are not dead. White and Bell, your split backs. Herman to throw underneath the Cox.
We have 2nd
Quick
down.
hook for 4 yards. Jesse Solomon, he's recovered a fumble, makes the tackle. 2nd and 6. Run formation, tight formation for the Rams. 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts. Bell the lone setback. 2nd and 6. Motion, bottom of the screen for the Rams. Herman, Bell to the right, nothing at all. No gain. The Vikings front 7 rise to the occasion. Henry Thomas on the tackle. A big 3rd and 6 here for the Rams. They trail 14-7, ball at the Minnesota 43. Anderson in the slot, Cox to the outside of him. Tight end Pete Holohan to the bottom of the screen, Ellard to the outside of him. Bell, the lone setback, 3rd and 6. Man coverage for the Vikings. It's a blitz. Screen to Bell. Bell will not get there.
4th down.
The Vikings swarm once again like bees to honey. Only a gain of 2. 4th down. The Rams will punt with Rich Camarillo trying to pin the Vikings back. Camarillo angles for the sidelines. It's going to be at the 11. 30-yard punt. Not horrific, but Camarillo would have liked to got it inside the 10 or the 5. The Vikings start 1st and 10 at their 11, shadow their own end zone. 10:06 to play in this third quarter. If you're a Rams fan, you saw some positive things by the Rams offense. Now, can the Rams defense hold and give Herman and the Rams the short field? Vikings go full house. Nelson, Rice, and Anderson in the backfield. 2 tight ends. Pitch. Anderson goes the other way, and he is brought down in the backfield. That was just an ugly play from start to finish. Alfred Anderson goes down for a 2-yard loss. Kevin Green knocks him out of bounds. 2nd and 12. Again, the Vikings shadow their own end zone. Split backfield. Nelson and Rice. Carter to the top of the screen. He's the only wideout. Jordan and Malarkey, your tight ends. Blitz. Hand off to Darren Nelson. Gets by. He's close to the first.
Down.
He's got it. Darren Nelson beats the blitz. Let's watch that again in slow motion. Rams look like they're going to stuff Nelson. He spins away from the would-be tackler. Picks up 10.
First down.
Move the chains, baby.
Out of bounds.
1st and 10 for Minnesota at their 21. 2 tight ends, split backfield. Rice and Nelson. Anthony Carter, the lone wideout, top of the screen. Wilson to throw. Hits Jordan.
We have 2nd down coming up.
Hits Jordan, and Kevin Green hits Jordan. Only a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 for the Vikings at their 23. Wilson assesses the situation on 2nd and 8. Motion, top of the screen for the Vikings. Hand off to Rice. Rice is driven out of bounds.
3rd down.
Gain of
Out
1.
bounds.
Excellent lateral pursuit by the Rams defense. This is a huge 3rd and 7 for both teams. 3rd and 7 for the Vikings at their 24. Gustafson and Hassan Jones to the top. Anthony Carter and Leo Lewis to the bottom. Darren Nelson alone setback. Nelson's had a pretty good game. Zone coverage. Vikings look like they're facing zone coverage. Rams are gambling with zone coverage, in my opinion. Wilson to throw. Pressure. Throws. Sidelines. Complete to Carter.
First down.
Gain of 10. Alvin Wright on the tackle of Anthony Carter. But the Vikings move the chains again. They're smelling Super Bowl. About 7 to play when they snap this ball. 2 tight ends, 2 backs. The lone wideout, Carter, top of the screen for Minnesota. Wilson back to pass underneath to Jordan.
Incomplete. We have 2nd down coming
Well covered by Michael Stewart. Stewart had the pick 6 for the Rams. 2nd and 10. I formation now for the Vikings. 7:06 to play in this third quarter. Rice the up back, Nelson behind him. Wilson to throw. Intercepted by Irving! And the Rams are in business. Leroy Irving with the pick. The 2nd interception by the Rams from the arm of Wade Wilson. Coach Burns shaking his head, looking over at Tommy Kramer, the veteran. Here's the replay in slow motion. That pass was intended for Hassan Jones, and Irvin give the Hassan chop. A huge play by the Rams defense. Herman in for the injured Jim Everett. He will have to take them all the way. We don't know how long Everett is out if the Rams do make the Super Bowl. Cox to the top of the screen. Holohan and Eller to the bottom. Pete Holohan, the tight end. White and Bell, your split backs. It's a give to Bell. Bell plunges the middle, bounces left. 6 yards for Greg. I think I keep calling him Gary Ding Dong Bell, the former pitcher for the Red Sox and Indians. Was it the Indians? Amongst other teams. Greg Ding Dong Bell. 6 yards. Jesse Solomon on the tackle. Main event says, looks like it's going to be a nail biter. How you doing, my friend? 2nd and 4 for the Rams at the Minnesota 27. Bell, Del Pino, and White. Full house backfield for the Rams. Herman, play action. Holohan caught. First down. What a gutsy play call by Coach Robinson to let Mark Herman throw the ball. Gain of 4. Pete Holohan took a big hit but held on. 1st and 10 for the Rams. This is after the interception. Ball at the Minnesota 23. White and Bell. Greg Bell are your backs. 2 tight ends, Johnson and Holohan. Henry Ellard to the top of the screen. He's very dangerous. Will they go play action fake? Zone coverage for the Vikings. It's a blitz. Herman throws. Incomplete.
We have second down coming.
Looking for the deep out against the 2-deep zone to the tight end. Oh, Herman had him again. He's rusty. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 with 5:32 to play in the third quarter. NFC Championship game, 1988. In my What If Doug Flutie played the whole year for the Patriots. Obviously, we played all the Patriot games. Put some on the channel. All the playoff games are on the channel for the Patriots. Who will meet either the Patriots and Bills in the Super Bowl? 2 tight ends for the Rams. Bell and White are your backs. 2nd and 10. Motion, top of the screen for the Rams.
False start. Offense.
Rams decide success does not fit them well. False start on the Rams. 2nd and 15, back up the bus to the Minnesota 28. Robinson decides he's going to gamble with his backup quarterback. He's got 4 wideouts there on 2nd and 15. Cox to the top of the screen. Anderson, Ellard, and Brown to the bottom. Bell, Greg Bell, your lone running back. Herman gives it to Bell. Bell up the middle, bounces left. Takes it inside the 20. They'll actually spot it at the 20. Gain of 8. 3rd and 7. Makes it a much more manageable setup for the backup quarterback, Mark Herman, out of Purdue. Cox and Anderson to the top. Ellard and Brown to the bottom. Greg Bell, the lone setback. No safety help for the Vikings. Mano y mano across the field from sideline to sideline. You see purple. Herman. Bell struggles, but he won't get there. Knocked out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
Gain of 4. 4th and 3. Robinson will send out the barefoot kicker, Mike Lansford, to try to bring the Rams to within 4. This will be a 33-yard field goal attempt. Herman holds. The kick is up. And good.
It's good.
So it's 14-10. Vikings. Lansford puts the ball on the tee. He's going to kick off. 4:16 left in the third quarter of this NFC Championship game. Lansford strikes the ball. Vikings hoping for a big return, as does every team. But taking a knee is Harris in the end zone. You could see Coach Burns really having a word with Wade Wilson about ball security and stop throwing interception, you dumb bastard. I don't know if he used those terms. I'm just saying. Your backs for the Vikings, as it's 1st and 10 on their 20, Rice and Nelson. Nelson's had a pretty good game. Hassan Jones, 1 wide out, bottom of the screen. Anthony Carter, the other, to the top. Jordan, the tight end. Zone coverage for the Rams. They've picked off Wilson 3 times. Rice on the sweep, driven out of bounds.
Second down coming up.
Beautiful lateral pursuit by the Rams. Kevin Green took him out of bounds. Only a gain of 1. 2nd and 9 for the Vikings at their 21. Wilson brings the offense to the line of scrimmage on 2nd and 9. Wilson to throw. Incomplete. Wilson throws off his back foot. A little high. Jordan and Stewart battled for that short pass. Incomplete. 3rd and 9. Rams defense trying to take Los Angeles to the promised land. They trail by 4. Gustafson, Carter, Lewis to the top of the screen for the Vikings. Hassan Jones to the bottom. Darren Nelson, a lone setback, 3rd and 9. Zone coverage for the Rams. Motion. Gustafson goes in motion. Wilson rolls, throws that way. Complete to Anthony Carter. He breaks the tackle. 45. Stop before midfield. Wade Wilson rolled right, threw right, hit Anthony Carter, and Carter gallops for 28 yards. Minnesota has it 1st and 10 at their 49. 2 tight ends now for the Vikings, Malarkey and Jordan. Rice and Nelson, your backs. Carter, the lone wideout, top of the screen. Wilson to throw again.
Incomplete. We have second down coming up. There's a flag on the play.
Pass intended for Carter, guarded by Jerry Gray. Flag on the play.
Intentional grounding. Offense.
That will be a 10-yard penalty and loss of down. So it's 2nd and 20. Coach Burns not happy with that. Always looked like Coach Burns never combed his hair. Rice and Nelson, your split back. 2 tight ends for the Vikings, Jordan and Malarkey. Carter to the bottom of the screen. Zone coverage on 2nd and 20 for the Rams. It's a blitz. Wilson feeling the pressure, throws it deep. Complete to Jordan.
3rd down.
The tight end battles Stewart for the ball. Gain of 14. They've had a real personal battle, Steve Jordan and Michael Stewart. Makes it a much more manageable 3rd and 6 for the Vikings at the Rams 47. Carter to the top, Hassan Jones to the bottom. Rice and Nelson your backs. Jordan the tight end. Wilson awaits the snap. Man coverage for the Rams. Wilson gives it to Rice. Rice traps to the middle. The fullback picks up 2. Carl Eckern on the stop. 4th and 4. The Rams D holds. Bucky Scribner to punt. Rams coming after it. Scribner gets the punt off. And it's a horrible punt. What the hell you doing? You can hear the words out of Burns' mouth, the coach. 52-yard punt as he screams, "You jackass, it's a touchback." Rams 1st and 10 at their 20. Vikings cling to a 4-point lead. Minnesota 14, Los Angeles 10. 1:22 left in the 3rd quarter of this NFC Championship game. Winner goes to the Super Bowl. 2 tight ends set for the Rams. Your backs are Bell and White. Ellard, the lone wideout. Herman in for the injured Jim Everett. Herman to throw. Deep. Incomplete.
We have 2nd down.
Pass intended for Henry Ellard. Herman hasn't had any fear about chucking the ball deep. He just hasn't completed them. 2nd and 10. Again, they go 2 tight end set, 2 wideouts for the Rams. Lone setback. Greg Ding Dong Bell. Vikings, they don't think they're passing. Everyone up in the box for Minnesota looking run. Herman looking. He's throwing deep. Sideline. Incomplete to Ellard.
3rd down.
Herman really trying to stretch out this defense in those bunch run formations. He just cannot connect up with his wideouts. And again, that puts Herman and the Rams in a very precarious situation. 3rd and 10, 1:09 left in the 3rd quarter. They trail 14-10. Ball at the Los Angeles 20. Anderson, Ellard, Brown to the bottom of the screen. Aaron Cox to the top. Bell, Greg Bell, the lone setback. 3rd and 10. Motion, top of the screen for the Rams. Herman to throw. The pocket holds up. Now some late pressure. Herman. Complete to Flipper Anderson. He crosses midfield. Taken down at the 45. They call him Flipper. Unbelievable. Mark Herman out of Purdue launches a deep pass to Flipper Anderson with pressure in his face. And that's a gain of 35. Here's the replay in slow motion. I can tell you one thing. Herman has stood tall in the pocket. No happy feet yet. Here's the late pressure by the Vikings. Herman, deep sideline pattern to Anderson. Anderson was running a deep out. And Flipper.
1st down.
For 35. Isaac Holt saves a touchdown. But the Rams convert. We have 25 seconds and counting in the 3rd quarter. 2 tight ends set again. For the Rams, Holohan and Johnson. Henry Ellard to the bottom of the screen. White and Bell, your split backs. 1st and 10. White gets it. Bounces to the left. Struggles for one. Henry Thomas on the tackle. That should end the 3rd quarter. And it does. 15 more minutes of football. The Minnesota Vikings 14, the Los Angeles Rams 10. Mark Herman trying to lead a comeback. In for the injured Jim Everett, who was concussed, out for the game. We don't know how long he's out. If the Rams make the Super Bowl, who will be the quarterback? We will not know until the end of the game. We go to the final 15 minutes of football. Mark Herman now 5 of 11, 52 yards. Thrown for a couple of first downs. His long was 35. We just witnessed that. To Flipper Anderson. Let's look at Mark Herman a little better. Well, his accuracy is not horrific. He's got 6s across the board. Avoiding interceptions, not so good. He's got 6s across the board. You want the lower number there. You want the higher number there, excuse me. So again, not bad. Not bad at all. It did not, though that didn't show when he did play. I mean, he only completed 39% when he got in the regular season. We switch sides, final 15 minutes as we start the fourth quarter in this nail-biter. 2nd and 9 for the Rams at the Minnesota 44. You could kick a field goal here if you get closer and pull to within 1. Ellard and Cox are your wideouts. Holohan's at tight end. White and Greg Bell are your backs on 2nd and 9. It's a blitz. Herman underneath the bell.
3rd down.
Gain of 6, 3rd and 3. You got to give Herman a lot of credit here. He stays very calm in the pocket, the Purdue grad. Quickly goes through his progressions.
3rd down.
Hits Bell. They're covered downfield. They pick up. He took what they gave him. 6 yards. Big 3rd and 3 here. Ball at the Minnesota 38. This might just be outside of Mike Langsford's range. They got to get closer, I think. 3rd and 3. 2 tight ends set for the Rams. Ellard to the top of the screen, the lone wideout. White and Bell are your backs. For some reason, the Vikings are playing zone coverage. It's a blitz. Charles White's close.
4th down.
He doesn't get there. They needed 3. He only gets 2. Scott Studwell put up the brick wall that stoned Charles White. 4th and 1. Camarillo to punt. Wow, Robinson doesn't gamble. Great punt by Camarillo. 32 yards, goes out inside the 5. So Robinson really putting that pressure and faith in his Rams defense. 13:38 left in this NFC Championship game. Minnesota 14, Los Angeles 10. Vikings shadow their own end zone. Ball at their 4. Rice and Nelson your backs. Carter and Jones your wideouts. Jordan's a tight end. Wilson under center has thrown 2 picks, which have led to 10 points for the Rams. Wilson gives it to Rice. Rice stuffed in the backfield. 1 yard loss. Alvin Wright says, "You shall not pass, Mr. Rice." 2nd and 11. Ball now at the Minnesota 3. 2 tight ends, Malarkey and Jordan. 2 wideouts, Gustafson and Carter. Darren Nelson alone setback. Everyone up in the box for the Rams. It's a blitz. Nelson struggles. He loses a yard. And once again, it's Alvin Wright staying low, fighting through blocks to make the tackle. 3rd and 12. Now the Vikings stretch out this Rams defense. Lewis, Carter, Gustafson to the top. Hassan Jones to the bottom. Darren Nelson alone setback. Can the Rams hold here on 3rd and 12? Motion for the Vikings. Ball at the Vikings 2. Wilson scrambles. Throws. Complete to Anthony Carter. Carter streaking down the sidelines. Gain of 30. As Carter burns Michael Stewart like toast. Here's the replay in slow motion. Wilson rolled away from the pressure. Nelson made a nice block there. You saw that. Throws back a dangerous toss. And I think Stewart had visions of another pick 6. Instead, the ball finds the hands of Anthony Carter. And it's a first down 30 yards later. A huge play by the hot and yet cold Wade Wilson of the Vikings. Ball at the Minnesota 32. You can hear the moans and groans all the way from Los Angeles by Rams fans. Hassan Jones to the top of the screen. Gustafson, Carter, and Lewis to the bottom. Nelson alone setback. It's a give to Nelson. Nelson to the right, cuts back middle.
We have 2nd down coming up. There's an injury on the field.
6 yards for Nelson, tackled by Eckern. Injury on the field. Nelson limps off the field. Alfred Anderson comes in. Word from the Vikings sidelines, Darren Nelson should be back. Run formation, 2 tight ends set. Anderson and Rice your backs for the Vikings. 2nd and 4. Anderson gets the carry. No gain. The Rams hold back. Anderson. Mel Owens on the tackle. 3rd and 4. This is a huge 3rd down. Just over 10 to play in this football game. The NFC Championship game. Winner goes to the Super Bowl to face the winner of the Bills or the Patriots. That game has already been played. It's up on the channel. I play as the Patriots. So if you want, check that out. Big 3rd and 4. Rice the up back. Anderson behind him. It's a give to Rice. He's not going to make it.
Down. There's a flag on the play.
He only picked up 2, but there's a flag on the turf here at the Baggy Dome.
Illegal block. Offense.
So an illegal block on the Vikings. The Rams decline 4th and 2. Scribner to punt. Flag on the play. What happened? If it's on the Rams, it's a first down for the Vikings. Ball will bounce out of bounds, but let's get to that penalty. It is a crucial penalty at a crucial time with 9:46 left in a tight NFC Championship game. Vikings 14, Rams 10. We go to the flags. Oh! The Rams jumped off sides, giving a free set of downs to the Vikings. Coach Robinson shaking his head on the Rams sidelines. He is disgusted. 9:40 left in the game. Vikings have it at their 45, 1st and 10. Wilson to throw. Under duress. Throws. That's going to be incomplete.
We have 2nd down coming.
Michael Stewart looked to jump that route. 2nd and 10. Holy cow. 2 tight ends set for the Vikings. Under 10 to play. Anderson and Rice are your backs. It's a sweep to Rice to the left.
3rd down.
Allen Rice struggles for 3. Welcher on the stop. Again, a crucial 3rd and 7. Vikings running clock. 8:55 and counting in this NFC Championship game. Hassan Jones and Gustafson to the top of the screen. Anthony Carter and Leo Lewis to the bottom. Anderson the lone setback. Anderson in for the injured Darren Nelson. Wilson under center. 3rd and 7. Wilson, Anderson stuffed.
4th down.
Struggles for 1. 4th and 6. The Rams swarm to the ball. Nelson will be, word from the sidelines, he'll be back when the Vikings are on offense, but they must punt now with Scribner. Vikings jumped. That flag looks like to be on the Vikings.
There's a flag on the play.
Hicks immediately hit on the 38-yard punt, no return.
Illegal procedure. Offense.
Los Angeles accepts they're going to back up the Vikings. They'll make them punt again. Scribner to punt. Rams come after it. They don't get there. Hit. Oh, Ellard on the punt return gets popped. Check your chicklets, son. The ball for the Rams, who trail by 4, will be on their 15. Mark Herman, the backup quarterback, in for the injured Jim Everett. A touchdown will put the Rams ahead. Ellard and Flipper Anderson are your wideouts. Greg Bell, who occasionally I call Gary, the lone setback. Holohan and Johnson, your 2 tight ends. 1st and 10. Herman under center. It's a blitz. Pitch to Bell. Bell to the left.
We have 2nd down.
Plows for 3. Scott Studwell on the tackle. Doug Smith, the center for the Rams, is out. It looks like he had the wind knocked out of him. Word from the sidelines is he should return. Tony Slayton comes in at center. That's a drop-off. 2nd and 7. Lots of injuries for the Rams. Anderson in the slot. Cox to the outside on the bottom of the screen. Holohan, Ellard to the top of the screen. Holohan being the tight end. Bell the lone setback. Herman barks out the signals. Motion, bottom of the screen for the Rams. Bell bounces to the outside, cuts back middle. Big run for Greg Ding Dong Bell. 14 yards, tackled by Joey Browner. Flag, I believe, will be on the Vikings.
Offsides. Defense.
And it's declined. Rams take the 14-yard run. 6:51 and counting in this NFC Championship game. Bell and White are your backs. Ellard, Cox your wideouts. Holohan, tight end, bottom of the screen, man coverage for the Vikings. Herman to throw. Herman launches it deep sidelines. Complete to Henry Ellard! He finally hooks up with Henry Ellard, 26 yards. Mark Herman claps his hands. The graduate from Purdue, the Boilermaker, trying to lead the Rams to the promised land. Let's watch that replay in slow motion. Herman has thrown the ball quite deep. Coach Robinson has had a lot of faith in the Purdue grad. Again, in for the injured Jim Everett.
1st down.
Everett out for the game. Doug Smith has returned. at center for the Rams. Rams have it 1st and 10 at the Minnesota 2, 6:12 in counting. Anderson, the slot receiver. Cox and Ellard out wide. Holohan, the tight end for the Los Angeles Rams. Bell, the lone setback on 1st and 10. Pitch to Bell. Bell to the right, cuts back.
We have 2nd down.
3 yards. Jesse Solomon on the stop. 2nd and 7, 5:34 and counting in this NFC Championship game. White and Bell, your setback. Zone coverage for the Vikings. Herman pitches to Bell. Bell to the left, ridden out of bounds.
3rd down.
That is a loss of 1. 3rd and 8. About 5 to play. The clock is going tick, tick, tick on this NFC Championship game. Someone's season will come to a crashing end. Who will it be? Will Mark Herman come off the bench to be the hero? Anderson, Ellard, Brown to the top of the screen. Cox to the bottom. Bell, the lone setback for the Rams. Herman to throw. Herman under duress. Throws incomplete. Pass intended on the crossing play in the middle to Flipper Anderson. 4th and 8. The Rams will punt with Rich Camarillo. 4:57 left in this football game. Camarillo tries to pin them back. Leo Lewis on the punt return, streaking down the sidelines. Good return by Leo Lewis of 12 yards as Camarillo almost pinned them back. The ball will be spotted at the Minnesota 22. Vikings are up 14-10. 4:50 left in this NFC Championship game. Who will go to the Super Bowl? Coach Burns decides to go with a full house backfield. Nelson, Anderson, and Rice. 1st and 10. Pitch to Anderson. Anderson, a good tough run.
We have 2nd down coming up.
Tackled by Kevin Green. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. 4:09 and counting. Rice and Nelson, your backs for Minnesota. Quick hitter to Anthony Carter. Breaks a tackle. Gets out close to the Minnesota 40. They'll spot it at the Minnesota 39. That's a gain of 13. Vikings. Single back is Nelson. Motion. Quick hitter to Gustafson.
We have 2nd down.
No gain.
There's a flag on the
Flag on the play. What is it? Is it a late hit? It was a big pop on Jim Gustafson. He got his bell rung. He's looking for that Snickers bar. Ring my bell, ring my bell. Carl Hilton comes in, but I think there was a flag on the play too.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense.
It's on the Vikings. Back up the bus, Gus. Don't need to discuss much. Just drop off the key, Lee. Set yourself free. So that's going to be a 1st and 15 for Minnesota at their 34. 3:19 left in this football game. It's a struggle at the Baggy Dome. A classic rivalry in an unclassic stadium, that's for sure. No mud bowl here. It is turf warfare. Blood, sweat, and snot on this Hubert H. Humphrey turf in Minnesota. Hilton and Carter are your wideouts. Jordan and Malarkey, your tight ends. Darren Nelson, lone setback. 1st and 15. Wilson's thrown 2 picks. Wilson to throw. He's under duress. He scrambles. It's a big run by Wade Wilson.
We have 2nd
The
down
pocket
coming up.
collapses, and Wade Wilson goes for 10. Kevin Green drags him down from behind. D. Scott Howard, the Goat Whisperer, has joined us. How you doing, my friend? 2nd and 5. Clock going tick, tick, tick. For one of these two teams, the season will end. Nelson, the lone setback. Hilton in the slot. Hilton down the wide receiver. Reverse. Loss of 2. What was Coach Burns thinking there? Alvin Wright drags down Carl Hilton. Los Angeles calls timeout. They have 2 left. 2:30 to play in this football game. 3rd and 7. The Rams need a stop. Hassan Jones to the top of the screen for Minnesota. Hilton, Carter, and Lewis to the bottom. Nelson alone setback. Wilson has thrown 2 picks already. Wilson to throw. Middle. Complete. Carter at the sticks. First. Did he get it? Yes. First down. Wade Wilson to Anthony Carter. He took a huge pop. But he holds on to the ball, and that could be some more nails in the coffin of the Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles uses their 2nd timeout. They have 1 left. 2:24 left in the game. Nelson and Rice are the backs. Nelson gets the carry for Minnesota to the right. Picks up 3 yards. Kevin Green on the tackle. As main event says, "Don't on the first down for the Vikings. Gustafson is A-OK on the Vikings sidelines. Los Angeles uses their last timeout. They will only have the 2-minute warning. Lone setback is Nelson. Pitch to Nelson. Nelson stopped in the backfield. Rams frantically going for the ball. That's a loss of 1. Vikings should take it to the 2-minute warning. And they do.
2-minute warning.
2 minutes left in this football game. When we come back, it is 3rd and 8. Minnesota 14, Los Angeles 10. The Super Bowl hangs in the balance. A big 3rd and 8. Let's set the situation here. Vikings up 4. 3 wideouts on the field. Jones to the top, Gustafson in the slot. Jordan and Carter to the bottom, Steve Jordan being the tight end. Darren Nelson, the lone setback. Rams need the stop here on 3rd and 8. Motion for the Vikings, top of the screen. And the Rams jump off sides. It will make it a 3rd and 3. Coach Robinson is incensed on that Los Angeles sidelines.
Defense.
3rd and 3. 2 minutes to play in this football game, the NFC Championship. Nelson up the middle, first down! The Vikings have probably just sealed the deal. That's a gain of 4. Minnesota in the thundering white north starts to celebrate. As we go back to the 2-minute warning. Okay. Vikings in victory formation. That is all, folks. The Minnesota Vikings will win the NFC Championship game 14-10. Minnesota is going to the Super Bowl. An ugly game won by the Vikings. And boy, will they have to talk to Wade Wilson about ball security. His picks and horrific tosses nearly cost the Vikings a championship, but they hold serve at home, and they will go to the Super Bowl. Your MVP of the NFC 1988 championship game, my What If Doug Flutie played the whole year for the Patriots replay, which I played as Doug Flutie and the Patriots the whole year. We gave you a couple of one regular season game at the end of the year and the playoff games. And now we gave you the NFC Championship game in this replay, which was a lot of fun. The Bills-Patriots AFC Championship game is on the channel. We played that a few days ago. I'm not going to spoil it if you want to enjoy it. So Anthony Carter is the MVP of the NFC Championship game. 7 catches, 116 yards. None bigger than that last one for that first down. Let's go to the stats and then call it a stream. For the Rams, Mark Herman came in after Jim Everett was knocked out of the game with a concussion. 7 of 14, 50%, 84 yards. He didn't throw. He wasn't horrific. Wasn't great, but he wasn't horrific. Jim Everett, before he was hurt, 9 of 18, 50%, 69 yards. Neither man threw a touchdown or a pick. For Minnesota, Wade Wilson did his best to lose this game. 18 of 25, 72% completion. He completed another 2 passes to the Rams. He threw 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 227 yards. Minnesota had a workmanlike running game. Darren Nelson, 16 for 59 yards. Allen Rice, 12 for 43 and a touchdown. Both fumbled, but those fumbles were not lost. The Rams running game, Greg Ding Dong Bell, 17 for 87, 5.1 yards a carry. He fumbled once, and it was lost. I would have still fed him the ball. I would have ran the ball a lot more if I was the Rams, especially when Herman came in at quarterback. Charles White, well, he's Charles White. 4 for 5 yards. Receiving for the Rams, Bell had 5 receptions, 39 yards, but Henry Ellard had 44 yards on 4 receptions. For Minnesota, there's your MVP. Carter, 7 for 116. Jordan had 5 for 43 and a touchdown reception. That proved to be the game winner. Defense. Leading tackler, David Howard with 7 for the Vikings. They had no sacks. They did have 1 fumble recovery by Jesse Solomon. For the Rams, Kevin Green, left outside linebacker all over the place, 12 tackles, 4 for losses. He had 2 sacks. The picks were by Michael Stewart, which was a pick 6, and Leroy Irving. But it was not enough to bring the Rams to the promised land. We did Minnesota, right? I think we did. Yes, we did. Chuck Nelson, 2 for 2 for extra points. Mike Lansford, 33-yard field goal, 1 for 1 and 1 for 1 for extra points. The Vikings advance to the Super Bowl 14-10. They will play the winner of the Patriots and the Bills. I won't spoil it. We played earlier in the week. It's on the channel. So next week, we will have the Super Bowl 1988 year. Who will the Vikings face? Find out. Alrighty, I'd like to thank Main Event, D. Scott Howard, the original Grognard, Max Cornelius, good to see you, Dave Gardner, Philip Reynolds, thank you very much. If you enjoyed the stream, hit that like button. If you have not subscribed and you want to, please do so. Hit the bell for notification when we go live, because that's what we usually always do, is go live. I greatly appreciate everyone's time. Enjoy your Saturday. Stay safe, be smart, treat people the way you want to be treated. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Birthday to Jesus. We will see you all again soon. I love you.